The grand chamber of the Kereth Dominion glowed with a low blue radiance as thousands of citizens gathered in layered circles around the high dais at the center. The air shimmered with drifting particles of luminous pollen, released from ceremonial vines that hung in patterns across the vaulted ceiling. Every figure present carried the solemn expectation of witnessing a moment recorded in the annals of their empire. The selection of a mate by their queen was not simply a romantic decision, but a turning point in the future of their people. It determined alliances, shaped the path of the royal lineage, and reinforced the strength that the Dominion projected across dozens of star systems. No one expected deviation. No one expected surprise. The Queen was known for her measured decisions, for her powerful wisdom, and for her unmatched understanding of politics. Her choice would certainly be one of the elite warriors or strategists standing in the front line. They were strong, imposing, and bred for the continuation of the royal bloodline. They carried the iridescent scales of the highborn, the trained posture of the Dominion Guard, and the confidence of those who knew they were destined for prominence. Yet, whispers drifted through the chamber as the Queen entered. Some thought she seemed contemplative in a way unusual, even for her. Others assumed it was gravity from the magnitude of the ceremony. She wore ceremonial armor, shaped from the shells of starlight beetles, its surface reflecting shifting hues of violet and silver as she moved. Her crown extended from the back of her head like a fan of translucent crystal, each shard humming faintly. Every Kereth present bowed deeply. But one figure standing near the back was not Kereth at all. He was a lone human named Evan. He stood still, unsure of the customs surrounding him, holding his hands respectfully at his sides. His presence was tolerated only because he had been instrumental in resolving a crisis on a frontier world 2 cycles prior. His courage during a disaster rescue had earned him a strange mixture of respect and curiosity among the Dominion. But despite this, no one thought him an important figure in this ceremony. He was human. He was an outsider. He had no place among the elites. He kept his gaze lowered to avoid offending anyone. Yet the Queen glanced his way as she ascended the dais. It was a brief moment, unnoticed by most, but for Evan, it felt like a flash of heat against his chest. He tried to steady himself, telling his mind it was accidental. When the Queen raised her hand, the entire chamber fell silent. Her voice flowed out with a calm authority that resonated through the structure itself. She declared the tradition. She spoke of the responsibility of her selection. She acknowledged the warriors and advisors who had trained and proven themselves worthy. She invited them to step forward. The chosen candidates moved with flawless precision, forming a symmetrical arc across the dais. Each carried a ceremonial staff that signified readiness to bond with the royal line. As they stood, their bodies glowed faintly with the energy produced through the ancient rituals of preparation. The chamber hummed with anticipation. Evan looked at them with awe. They all seemed carved from the essence of alien nobility. He felt small among them. He felt fragile. Even though he knew he had accomplished feats that impressed some members of the Dominion, he could not imagine standing beside these figures. Their sharp features caught the light in angular patterns. Their arms and chests were adorned with intricate symbols that marked lineage and achievements. Evan wondered which one the Queen would choose. Any of them would strengthen the empire. Any of them would be predictable and celebrated. But the Queen's gaze moved past them, slowly, intentionally. It slid across the line of candidates and came to rest on the distant figure of the human in the back. A ripple of confusion was immediate. Eyes widened. Soft gasp-like sounds echoed around the chamber. Evan froze. He looked behind himself, thinking she must be looking at someone else. There was no one there. Her eyes remained steady. She lifted her chin slightly. Her voice carried through the silence. She announced her choice. She chose him. The entire chamber erupted in shock. The warriors in the front line stiffened. Some looked as if they could not comprehend the words they had heard. Advisors exchanged alarmed glances. Several members of the audience involuntarily stepped back. The queen had chosen a human. Not only a human, but a human with no lineage, no Kerith heritage, no standing among the elite. Evan's heart slammed against his ribs. He felt the weight of thousands of eyes turned toward him. The queen signaled for him to step forward. Evan hesitated for a moment, unsure if refusing was even an option in this culture. But the guards to his sides gently gestured for him to begin walking. His legs felt unsteady. He felt as though the air had thickened. As he approached the dais, he could feel the tension rolling off the Kerith elites. Some were offended. Some were confused. Others were angered. Yet the queen stood with a calm assurance that silenced even the most rebellious thoughts. When Evan reached her, she looked down at him. She was taller than him by nearly a head. Her crystalline crown cast shifting lights across his face. She asked if he understood the significance of what she had declared. He said he did not entirely understand, but he respected her decision and her people. She studied him with a depth that made him feel as though she could see every layer of his existence. Then she addressed the chamber again. She explained that the strength of a leader came not from comfort or predictability, but from insight. She claimed that while the warriors represented tradition, Evan represented something the Dominion needed for its future. He had shown compassion during the frontier disaster. He had risked his life for a child of a species not his own. He had acted without expectation of reward. His courage was human yet universal. She saw in him the potential to strengthen the heart of her lineage. Her words struck the crowd. They were not used to such reasoning. For many generations, the selection had followed strict lines of tradition. But the queen was not choosing based on tradition. She was choosing based on what she believed the Dominion needed to evolve. Evan felt overwhelmed. He did not know what role he could truly play among this alien people. But the queen placed a hand on his shoulder. Her gesture was gentle but firm. She spoke softly to him so that only he could hear. She told him that she had watched him since the rescue. She admired his actions. She believed he would bring something vital to her rule and to her people. The ceremony continued with solemn steps. The queen invited him to take the ceremonial staff from a platform beside her. Evan lifted it with care. The moment his hand closed around it, the chamber lights shifted, responding to the ancient rites encoded in the staff. It recognized him. He felt a hum through his arm. The murmurs from the crowd grew louder. He turned toward them, uncertain how to present himself. The queen raised her hand to silence the noise. She proclaimed that the decision was final. She told the audience to prepare for a future shaped by a union no one had predicted. After the ceremony ended, the reactions among the crowd ranged from awe to disbelief. Warriors who expected to be chosen were left speechless. Advisors questioned what this choice would mean for interstellar politics. Many citizens left the chamber still debating whether this was a sign of the queen's brilliance or a reckless deviation from tradition. Evan was escorted to a quieter hall behind the dais. The queen followed. In the privacy of the chamber, she asked if he was frightened. He admitted he was, but he also said he felt honored. She nodded. She explained that power without compassion often led to ruin. She believed that his influence would help her maintain balance in the years ahead. She also said that while the Empire valued strength, it had grown rigid. Human unpredictability fascinated her. She thought it might help her people grow. Evan asked why she specifically chose him and not another human diplomat or officer. The queen answered by stepping closer. She told him that when she first saw him during the rescue mission, she saw something in his eyes that her own warriors lacked. a quiet resolve that did not come from training or heritage, but from conviction. She had witnessed him carry a collapsing beam off a trapped child while his equipment malfunctioned. She saw him stand firm even when no one commanded him. She saw a rare kind of selflessness. Evan struggled to respond. He told her he did not think he was worthy of such a role. She told him that worthiness was not determined by birth, but by the path one walked. She reminded him that her choice had already shifted the course of the Dominion. The days following the ceremony were filled with training. Evan learned the customs of the Careth. He practiced the gestures used in diplomacy. He studied the responsibilities expected of someone positioned near the Queen. Many citizens observed him with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. But gradually the shock began to fade. News reports spoke of the Queen's bold choice. Some praised her for seeking unity with a species that had recently proven valuable allies. Others disapproved loudly, but none could deny that her authority remained absolute. Evan spent hours with tutors and advisors. Yet it was the time he spent speaking with the Queen that shaped him most. She asked him about humanity. She asked about his world. She asked what shaped human courage. Her curiosity seemed endless. He found himself admiring her more each day. Despite her power, she carried herself with remarkable humility. She wanted to you